teachers first go out to the homes, they have a different view of what they're going to do.
I was afraid to actually go to somebody's home.
I knew that there were needs. I knew there were a lot of needs, but I didn't realize how deep the needs went and how global they were.
What if there's no one else to take care of this kid and you're there? What do? He's not your kid, but you have to have that social concern because you're the only one left.
Stops teachers from going is a lot of the not knowing. They don't want to go.
I was so excited when my teacher come to the house. I was so excited because she come to my house, and I didn't know that she can come to houses.
I mean, it's when I actually started this project back last year, I didn't think it was going to become such a big thing as it is now. I didn't really envision it becoming such a important part of Park Place.
She would come to school wearing the same clothes. She apparently had not bathed in days, and she would never bring homework. She seemed a little withdrawn and had just a different attitude than the rest of my students. So I became worried about her. And when they asked if we were available for home visits, I thought this would be a great opportunity to get to see a little bit more of why my student was.
I thought that America was really the place where you wanna learn, you wanna be you have all the state of the arts and those stuff. But then when I came here, I saw the reality, because I see same things that I have witnessed in my country. I see poverty here. So now I would say I believe everything is universal. Most of the things that we think are not in here, they're in here. And I thought I wouldn't see people begging in the street, but I see them here too. So these problems are universal.
And to me it was a different world, and I was completely lost and I had no support. So I started talking to my students, try to become their friends, and I was strict because I had to set them at classroom, the management. That's the first thing they told me. I was the only thing, keep management in your classroom. But I wanted to get to know them. And I saw one incident that I recall my first year of teaching was one of my students not having a coat to come during winter. And I would tell her, sweetie, why aren't you wearing a coat? And she didn't answer. So I kind of brought one of my son's extra coats that he had and gave it to her. And I knew that I was dealing with a lot, I just gathered that the mom probably didn't have money to buy the coat, so I gave it to her. Then my children, I would call parents, and parents wouldn't come to to school. So I decided to go to their house, and that's how the home visits started. And I saw from that if you start doing that, you start building a connection between the teacher and parent. And I guess the parents kind of gather, oh, there's a person that really kind of cares for my child. And whenever they had a problem or something, they would come and speak to me, or if I didn't know how to solve something or whatever, I would try to find the answers for them. And I truly am a believer in this, okay? And I wish that all schools would initiate this type of practice, because it builds better community relationships.
Gaps. And where there are gaps, that's when children seem to fall beneath the cracks. So we continue to do home visits. I started doing them actually last year, and it became very effective for me, because now children know that I know where they stay, and that I'm going to be there. I'm around. I'm everywhere.
You could really see how these kids really touch your life. You learn from them not only on the basis of their in terms of educational education, or in terms of academic things, but you learn from everything. You learn from their background, you learn from their situation. And as a human being, as a person, you learn a lot. You become more human. You learn to have a heart. We sometimes in this age of, in a fast changing world like ours, we forget the human touch. It's more on, it's becoming mechanical, it's becoming more, it's all about machines, but come to think of it, the bottom line is, do you still have a heart? And if you have a heart, I believe there's no child left behind. There's no child life being alone, feeling isolated, feeling abandoned. I think if we can answer the emotional needs, if we can help them to raise those things, they will feel safe, and in that way they can learn. They can be.
We tend to lose the perspective of other the kids that we teach, that they don't come in with the same values, and that we demand of them to have the same values, and so there's a conflict in our reaching them if we don't identify with them. So that's why it's so important that we go out there and see that.
And no, I wasn't taught this at my preparation as a teacher. I was just you have to find ways to get in touch with the parents, and sometimes it's very difficult because you don't know what kinds of problems the parents have. You don't know, and they may need not just simple help like how to pay the bill. They may need psychological help, because them too have been abused and have been victimized through their whole life. So how can you fix somebody's life in just one visit or just one conversation? There's a lot to do. There's a lot of work that we have to do in order to really help a student, not just to learn, but to help the student learn, but from a deeper way. You have to go to the root of why the student is not learning.
I think the power of the home visits are letting the children know that you are a real person and you do care. They see you in a different setting other than the classroom. You get to come to their home. You're a real person. You're not just a teacher, you're their friend. And maybe that could make a strong enough bond that if they ever needed something, you knew that you would be a safe person to ask.
So it's kind of like this. We have to experience all the situations, not only what you do in the classroom, but out of the classroom, because there are more times that the kids are out of the classroom, and if you know them very well, you can give what they need. So, but what you see is a reflection of our society. What are we doing to improve that kind of life?
At the beginning, that they have a greater empathy level. They see some of the conditions that our students go home to. We have seen an increase in parent involvement. We have seen an increase in the number of parents who sign up to be parent volunteers as a result of home visits, and increased communication between the home and the school. And eventually,
always number one thing, you have to show that you care, that you're interested in their children. Oh my gosh, most of the time, I would say 99% of the time, you have won that parent over, okay? And they will back you up. They will help you in every way that they are able to, okay? Teachers who don't do that or are scared to do that, you need to wake up, okay? Because your experience, if you're from middle class, upper class, you have no idea what type of students are in the classroom now. It's not what it was 30 years ago, or 40 or even 20 years ago. It's a totally different makeup, okay, of human beings now. And you need to go out in the community, find out, learn about them, okay, about their culture, show respect. Nobody's culture is superior than anybody else.
Como miembro de PTA y como parte de la comunidad, hay muchas emociones al visitar a una familia de nuestra comunidad, porque nos damos cuenta de sus necesidades, nos damos cuenta de que tienen muchos problemas, pero también tratamos de ayudarlos. Eso es parte de sentirse con sentimiento hacia las visitas que tenemos. Por eso formo parte de este equipo y por eso quiero seguir siendo parte de este equipo.
I was happy because nobody of teachers came to our apartments. No one came before. They get to see us and our parents. When one teacher came at my apartment, I was feeling happy and excited, and I was jumping. That I want is that my teacher go and tell my dad the good things that I do in the school.
You can't stop. You did it last year, you have to continue this year. You have to continue the next year. Because if it stops, imagine, everything goes back to the same thing. And that's not what we're trying to develop at Park Place. If it's going to become a connection between the home and the school and the community, it's got to be an ongoing thing every day, even during the summer and the next year, and so on.